It's a lot going on over here. Hey y'all, it's Amber. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Whether you're a first time visitor, returning viewer, subscriber, welcome. I am happy to have you. So today we got a little story time, and I'm gonna tell y'all about our Las Vegas trip. So let's just jump right in, shall we? So about 9 months or so ago, maybe even a year ago, my boyfriend and I decided to talk about, you know, another destination for us to go to. We knew we had our anniversary trip to Disneyland planned, and we just wanted to go somewhere else. And so we landed on Vegas. Originally, we were gonna go for the UFC fight week or whatever it's called, but it's like a really big thing the first week of July. And we decided, no, let's just go in June during the USA versus Mexico soccer game. And so I was just like, okay, whatever. So we decided to go ahead and go, and we offered an invitation for a couple friend of ours to join us. And so my boyfriend and I got there the first day by ourselves. Hold on, pause, because I just jumped right into it. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you click the notification bell. All right, back to story time. I also appreciate likes, comments, things of that nature. Give me a scene, give me a little more exposure. I appreciate you. But anyway, so day one, we get to the airport, and I know my boyfriend kind of told me ahead of time, like, as soon as you step off the plane, you're literally gonna see slot machines. And I thought he was just being hella dramatic. Y'all, literally, as soon as we stepped off the plane, slot machines everywhere. And I was just like, what in the world is happening? So as we were walking through the airport to go to baggage claim, I was just really truly in amazement for the smoking casino rooms. Like, it was just stuff everywhere. As we were walking through the airport, we saw this little sign that says, what happens here only happens here. We took some pictures, and y'all, my zipper was open because we went to the restroom. And I told my boyfriend, I'm just like, babe, how you taking these pictures of me? And my zipper is just like wide open, like wham bam, thank you, ma'am. And so we retook the pictures, and then I got him to take a picture with me because he really didn't want to take the pictures. So then we went downstairs to the baggage claim. We had to wait a little bit, maybe about 15 minutes or so for our bags, which is, in the grand scheme of things, not bad. Our 3 bags literally came out with like one of the first bags to come out. So we got our bags, we called a taxi, and we went to our hotel. The taxi ride, y'all, what should have been maybe a 10-minute at most ride ended up being like a 30-minute ride. It's construction. People don't know how to drive in construction. Like, it was a mess. But we made it to the hotel. We stayed at Planet Hollywood, and it was really nice. We got checked in, and originally when we went up to our room, we had a pretty view of the Strip and the Bellagio fountains, which was a deal breaker essentially for my boyfriend. Like, he knew he wanted to see the fountains, and so that was like super important. And so I was just like, okay, well, you know, I'm here for the views. So we ended up booking a room with a view. We were on the 35th floor, so we were up pretty high. We had a good view of the Strip and different areas. We were right in front of the Bellagio fountains. We could even kind of hear the music a little bit if we were just sitting in silence. And it was just really, really pretty to see the Strip in the daytime, to see the mountains and as the backdrop, and to see the lights and the beauty of the Strip at nighttime. And we ended up going to the Venetian, and it was just a whole ordeal. So we ended up not even eating there, but it was really, really pretty. And so as an alternative, we ended up eating at the Cafe Hollywood in Planet Hollywood, and I got ramen. I didn't like it like at all, but I still ate it because I didn't want to waste money. And then my boyfriend had got chicken and waffles, and it was just phenomenal. Like, their chicken, the best way I can describe it is like the chicken kind of had the texture of like hard fried fish. I don't even like fish, but I like the texture of like deep fried, hard fried fish, and that's what that texture of the chicken was like. Of course, it tasted like chicken. It was very well seasoned. It was flavorful. It was delicious. And so needless to say, like, I was really kicking myself because I was the one that wanted the chicken and waffles. He got it for me because that's what I wanted, but I also wanted the ramen. So he was just like, okay, you get the ramen, I'll get the chicken and waffles. We'll just share and be happy with that. But Not so much. Not so much. The next day, we got up, we got ready, and it was the day for us to go to the USA versus Mexico soccer game. But our friends were landing that morning. Now, my boyfriend told me that my friends wouldn't get there until like 10 o'clock in the morning. He wakes me up suddenly at like 8 o'clock in the morning and was just like, hey, babe, so you know how I told you they'd be here around 10? Well, they're landing right now. So we need to get up and get ready. And I'm just like, are you serious? Like, I'm so exhausted. I just want to sleep. Like, we were up, y'all, until like 2 o'clock in the morning their time, which is 4 o'clock in the morning our time. So he wakes me up less than a full 6 hours later. So no, I wasn't in the greatest of moods. I was not very thrilled about it. But what can I say? They were on their way. So we got on up. We started getting ready. So they ended up coming over. They dropped their things off. We went to a buffet brunch in Caesar's Palace, which, side note, apparently we ended up sitting next to Mexico goalkeeper Ochoa's family. Well, we think it was his family because they had the custom jerseys, like everything. Anyway. So it was really, y'all, it was delicious. So we ended up ordering some carafes of mimosas. So we were having our mimosas. We got multiple plates of food. We got full. It was nice. And so we ate at Caesar's Palace. We kind of took the scenic route back to the hotel. We walked through the Bellagio just so we could, the Bellagio was literally between Planet Hollywood and Caesar's Palace. So we were just like, well, we're walking past it anyway. Let's just go explore and see. So we walked into the Bellagio and it was breathtaking. It was stunning. And so we ended up going into, I believe they call it the Centennial Gardens or something like that. We took some pictures. We got lost in the Bellagio trying to find the lobby and entrance area, but eventually we found it and we left, went back to our hotel to change and get ready for this USA versus Mexico game. So we caught a lift to get to the game and it was just so much chaos. Again, between the construction on the strip, streets being blocked off and barricaded for the soccer games, like it was a mess. So we ended up getting dropped off blocks away from the stadium. We had to walk to the stadium and we got in, and so we are all Clear members. So with Clear, it gives us access to skip security in the airports and also kind of skip the security process in the certain arenas around the country. And I noticed that Allegiant Stadium, which is the stadium for the game, they had Clear. So we ended up going to the VIP entrance because we very important people. So we went to the VIP entrance and they were just like, no, this is for VIP only. And so they were just like, oh, okay, well, they pointed us in the direction of the general line. And I was just like, absolutely not. We're not waiting in that line. So where do we go if we are Clear members and we are wanting to get through the expedited security process? So she pointed us in the opposite direction of where that line was. And I'm just like, okay, cool. They didn't even ask us for our Clear information. They just put us through the line and we went right in. It was no problem. We didn't have to wait in line. We just kind of pretty much walked through. So there was a Panama versus Canada game that was before us. It wasn't the most exciting game. So we just pretty much went and kept getting snacks, got food to eat. And so then it was time for the USA versus Mexico game. So they go through the motions of the national anthem for Mexico. They go through the national anthem for America. We're just there. We're feeling the vibes. We're taking pictures. My boyfriend is just in awe singing the Mexican national anthem. And I'm just standing there like, great. And then the game starts. And y'all, it is pure chaos. Like, y'all can look at the news article clips and titles for yourself. Like, it was pure chaos. But it was a good time and it was controlled chaos. So there wasn't any fights or anything like that. My boyfriend had told me about how the last Mexico game, him and his mom and his brothers went to, like, there was a fight right behind them. Like, literally, it was a mess. So I was kind of on guard and I was already just like, listen, I do not do well in hostile environments. The way my anxiety is set up, I'm already doing good to be here in a big, large crowd. So please, by all means, like, don't start none. Please, like, let's just get through this game and not have a problem. So they ended up stopping the game because Mexico fans were shouting something, and essentially it translates to hey beep, bitch, but they were saying it in Spanish, obviously. And so it was, they paused the game. They kept giving announcements like, you know, be mindful of your language, and if you as the fans are unable to control yourselves and speak with kindness and care, then we will stop the game. Like, we are entitled to stop the game. So Mexico was down bad at that point. They were already 3-0, so they had no cares in the world. And it ended up taking us like an hour and a half to get back to the hotel afterwards. So like I said, there was no really action where we are. People for the most part was pretty much chill around us. There was this guy, like, obviously it was a sea of green. A lot of people were Mexico fans there, and there was this guy that ended up being there. He was obviously very white, from the South. I could hear it in his accent. And so every time the guy that he was with, every time somebody in a USA jersey or shirt or USA colors would walk by, he just like started heckling them, and it was just really inappropriate. It annoyed me to no end. But then the guy next to him was just obnoxious. When I ended up looking at my boyfriend, I was just like, he do know he's not Mexican, right? Okay. Another USA family ended up coming through and sit right here, buddy. Yeah, you sit right here. And it was just like, dog, calm down. Like, y'all have already drank too much. Like, the game hasn't even started. So like, relax. They ended up sitting there. More USA fans came. Some were just like in plain clothes, so they just blended in. But anyway, the game ended. USA scored. They score again. They score a third time. That's when the crowd starts chanting and doing a wave and all that extra stuff. So game was over. We ended up looking for a lift to get back home, and I ended up telling my boyfriend, I'm just like, no, you're not looking for this lift. Like, let them do it. It's their turn to book the ride. And I kick myself for it now, because now I'm just like, we should have just booked the damn lift. Because it ended up taking us 90 minutes to get home. We were getting attacked by grasshoppers, y'all. Literally attacked by grasshoppers. I hate bugs. I'm not a fan. And so to see these things just jumping at me, literally jumping, one hit me in my chest, and I swear to y'all, I could have passed out and fainted. Like, I could have fainted. Anyway, our ride finally gets there. The traffic was horrendous. We were literally, y'all, 2 miles away from our hotel, and I was telling my boyfriend, like, we would have just done better off walking to the hotel. Like, we would have been there sooner than it took for us to wait for a car getting attacked by grasshoppers. Anyway, the car finally gets there. We head to the hotel. It takes us 30 minutes to go 2 miles, y'all. 30 minutes. Because not only do you have construction again, like I said, but you also have the traffic from the game, and you have pedestrians who really could give two rats' asses about the cars that need to turn when they need to turn. So we were close enough to the hotel, about 2 blocks, and I told my boyfriend, I was just like, should we just walk the rest of the way? Because there's no need of making this man sit in this additional traffic. He's losing out on money. You know, like, let's just walk back. So we woke our friends up. We walked back to the hotel, and we said goodnight to each other, and that was it. The next day, we were going to another brunch, and we were just pretty much going to chill out. We were supposed to go to Mimosa's Gourmet, but we ended up going to a place that was a little bit closer to where we are. We went to the Paris for brunch, and it was really nice. I ended up, my makeup matched the portrait of one of the paintings on the wall, and my boyfriend was just like, babe, that looks like your makeup. It was pretty fun. And at that point, like, we went outside, so it was getting warmer. So the previous few days was actually not bad at all. It was a little windy, so it was cooler in Vegas. Well, this day it was hot. So we came up out our hoodies, and I just had on a little simple black dress. He had on his shorts and a shirt, and so we took pictures at brunch. We ate. We had a good time. We had mimosas, and we were just like, hey, let's just explore the Paris. We went inside the Paris. We took pictures. We ended up going to this little staircase. I'm looking down because I'm looking at the pictures to remind me of like what happened, even though this trip was just last week. Anyway, so we ended up taking pictures on the stairwell. Not for the life of me, cannot remember what we were laughing about, but just seeing these pictures really made me happy because we were genuinely like cracking each other up. You could tell in the picture, or he was probably more likely cracking me up and just laughing at the fact that I was cracking up. So we took pictures, and then we ended up going to Caesar's Palace. for gambling. So we took some more pictures, of course, and then we went into the casino. I'm looking at these pictures like, kiss me. Anyway, so we went to Caesar's Palace and we ended up gambling, and we had, at breakfast that morning, we booked an escape room for us to go to. So the escape room was in Caesar's Palace, which is how we ended up there, but we had a little more time to kill. So we were just like, okay, let's just hang out here. We did the escape room, and to be perfectly honest, I don't really remember much about the escape room. I remember I had to run out because I had to use the restroom so bad, y'all. I was just like, listen, I'm gonna leave y'all to fend for y'all. They told me we not realistically locked up in here, so I'm gonna go to the restroom and I'll be back. So I went into the restroom, came back, they had to let me in. And by the time I came back, like, they were in a whole nother room, like they had broken out of the cells, and I'm just like, what is happening here? I missed a lot. So anyway, we only had like 10 minutes left by the time I got there, so I just helped out where I could. We almost escaped, however, we did not get to escape. So we did that, and then we went back to the Paris for dinner, and it was really good. We had a good time. It was delicious. No, kidding. So we went to the Eiffel Tower for dinner, and it was a whole ordeal getting there. So like, you get into the Paris hotel, you have to check in downstairs, and then once it was ready, they sent the elevator for us. We went all the way up to where we needed to go, and then they checked us in again, and then they took us to our table. So it was really nice, and the food was good. We had a great time. We didn't stay out too late. We were supposed to go to the club or something, and I had got us on the guest list at Tao and everything, but we just ended up deciding not to. So we went back to our hotel, and I believe the other couple decided to stay up and go back to the casino. My boyfriend and I went to the hotel room because we knew we had a long day ahead of us. We were going to the Grand Canyon the next day. We were out. Following day, we get up. It's time to get up and go to the Grand Canyon. So we had to catch the bus for like 7:30 in the morning, which was early. Earlier than I anticipated because they told me 8. So okay. Anyway, so we ended up getting up. We got ready. We were downstairs in the lobby waiting for our friends to come down, and so we were just like, okay, where exactly are we supposed to go? Because the bus sent them the company sent them an email saying that we would be picked up in like the lobby pickup area, but there was actually a designated area for the buses to pick up people that are going on these tours. And so I ended up asking one of the employees, like, hey, where do we go if we're trying to catch a bus for the Grand Canyon? And it ended up being like a walk. It wasn't a far walk, maybe a 3-minute walk, but we had to walk to where we needed to be. And so I told my boyfriend, because our couple friend was in the lobby getting Starbucks, and I was just like, hey, let them know, like, we have to walk to where we need to go. And so we ended up, my boyfriend and I ended up walking over there. Then a couple joined us. And then it was time for us to get on the bus and head there. We had to make a stop at Luxor. And then once we picked up some more people, it was time for us to head to the Grand Canyon. And I'll just show you some of the clips. It was just such a dry route, but I loved every minute of it. Just to see the canyon formations, to see the Joshua trees, the agave plants, like that to me was just so exciting to be able to look out my window and see. So we finally made it to the west rim of the Grand Canyon, and so there were multiple stops. So we had to take shuttles from like the main point. So the bus brought us to one point, which is like the central location, and that was the place for people to catch helicopter rides. That was the place for people to catch the shuttles to go to different parts of the Grand Canyon. So we went into the gift shop. We waited for our tickets, and once we got our tickets, we loaded the shuttle. We got in line for the shuttle. We loaded it, and then we went to the Sky View Point, or I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, so we went there. We took in the scenery. It was kind of chained off in various places. And I remembered that the bus driver had said that at some point there are not going to be chains. And so you just have to use common sense and your best judgment to make sure that you don't fall off the Grand Canyon. Because rocks are unstable. You may step into a place, slip, done for. Anyway, so we made it a point to stay far away from the edges. And we took pictures. We went to the Sky Lookout. I can't remember what it's called exactly. But we went there, we took professional pictures, we decided to pay for it. So it was either you paid $25 for one picture or $50 for all pictures. In our mind, we were just like, okay, might as well just buy all of the pictures, right? So we did. And then we went to the second point of the Grand Canyon, which was where there was no chain, and they just had like signs and beware of falling rocks and things of that nature. And I'm just like, what the hell did we get ourselves into? Well, we also had lunch passes with it. So we should have, in hindsight, we know now, we should have eaten at the first stop because they had a greater food selection and more of what we would have wanted to eat. But we decided that we were going to go to the second spot. So we ended up hiking around a little bit, taking pictures, walking around, just enjoying the peace and quiet. It was peaceful for me. Not so peaceful for my boyfriend because he was just like, it's too quiet. Like, this is eerie. Like, this feels strange. And I'm just like, oh, it's beautiful. It's quiet. Nobody's talking. Just enjoy the moment. And so we ended up eating there, and it was really good. I got chicken. My boyfriend got pork, I want to say, and the food was delicious. Again, though, after we ate, we found the menu for the other place, and we were just like, we should have ate there because that's what we wanted. Like, they had burgers, chicken tenders, chili cheese fries, stuff like that. But the food that we ate at the second look point was more authentic, I'm thinking, to the tribes that are there in the Grand Canyon. And so on one hand, like, we can get pizza, chicken tenders and stuff everywhere, but we can't always get authentic Native American dishes and foods. And so we still had a good time. We enjoyed ourselves. Once we ate, we decided to go back to our look point, and we made it. We had maybe like 20 minutes to spare before it was time for us to go. So we went into the gift shop. We got a couple of things. Like, I got a dream catcher. My boyfriend had got me a dream catcher from the Sky Point, and I got his mama magnet from there, the Skywalk, I think is what it's called. And I got his mama magnet. But then when we went to the gift shop, I'm just like, wait a minute, I got your mama something and didn't get my mama something. I ended up getting my mom a dream catcher just because, like, her grandfather is actually 100% Native American. Unfortunately, the aunt that actually found out what tribe he is from, she's deceased. So we don't exactly know, but I just figured that a dream catcher is something that I always wanted. I used to, fun fact, want to get a tattoo of a dream catcher on me when I was younger. And so I got my mom and I a dream catcher. So my boyfriend bought me one at the Skywalk, but I bought another one when I had went downstairs or went to the main gift shop at the Central Point, and I got a black one for my mom and a black and green one for me. And I'm gonna put that black and green one in my classroom because sometimes it's just important to know, one, we're not appropriating the culture, but it's also significant because I am going with the tribal theme in my classroom this year. I want them to be able to see things that I've bought from various places. There's this little Eiffel Tower statue I bought in Paris, right in front of the Eiffel Tower statue, and the dream catcher that I bought in the Grand Canyon is something that I want. They also gave us like this little pamphlet type thing that I'm gonna incorporate into my classroom somehow. Some of my Disney ears are also going to go into my classroom, like these pink ones. I actually wore to Disneyland Paris. I bought them in the Champs-Élysées, and then I wore them to Disneyland Paris, and so that's something that I would want to represent also my experience in Paris. Now I'm gonna put it in a shadow box, and then I'm gonna command strip that to the wall, but y'all get the point. Like, I want to incorporate real life travel experiences into my classroom, and even the places that I've never gone, like, I want to somehow incorporate them into my classroom because I think it's important for students to know, yes, I love Disney, but I also love to travel, and I think it's important for everyone to get the opportunities to travel because it allows you to learn things outside of your culture. It allows you to see outside of the city of Houston, which is where we're from. It allows you to see outside of, where you've been before. And so I'm trying to figure out what I can incorporate for Mexico, what I can incorporate for Israel and things of that nature, just the places that I've been to, and also incorporate visions of places that I would like to go in the future. So just stay tuned for that. The teacher content is coming. I know we on a whole lot of lifestyle, but the teacher content is coming. Anyway, where was I? Yes, so we ate, we went back, we got some dream catchers, we got on the shuttle, and we went back to Vegas. Now, on the way back to Vegas, we ended up stopping at the Hoover Dam. We took some more pictures, and we got back on the bus, and then they went to the Luxor, which was the last place that they picked up. Now, the people that were staying at the Luxor got off the bus first, and then the guy was just like, all right, everybody got to get off. Like, make sure to leave me a tip. And we were just like, what you mean? Like, you supposed to be taking us back to our hotel. You said you knew back streets. And he was just like, they're closed. What don't y'all understand about that? Like, I can't take you. The roads are closed. And we're just like, this is something you should have told us this morning. Like, if you did not have the confidence that you could navigate closed streets to the Strip because they were having a parade for the Golden Knights, their hockey team that had just won the Stanley Cup. So we were just like, if you didn't know that you could get through these streets, you should have told us this morning. That way we could have had rides waiting, we could have had lifts waiting, or we could have just mentally prepared for having to walk the 2 miles back to our hotel. So we ended up having to walk back to the hotel. My boyfriend and I are fuming. We are pissed because the dude had literally said that morning, like, oh, we'll get you back in time. Like, don't you worry. You'll be here before it closes. And even if it does close, like, I know back streets to get us there. And so I told the couple friend of ours, I was just like, make sure to leave this guy a bad review, because who does that? So we ended up having to take the longest walk ever back to the hotel. And I think we ended up just grabbing dinner there and we went to sleep. The next day we got up and we went to Gordon Ramsay Burger for lunch. And I had told my boyfriend, and I was just like, okay, listen, like, this is becoming a gambling centered trip. And while I know this is a lot of the reason why people come to Vegas, this is not the reason that I came to Vegas. And so, like, I understand that we want to gamble. We want to, you know, go to these different places. But I'm not enjoying myself in the casinos because I'm not gambling any more money. I had already lost $25. So I wasn't thrilled to do anything else. And I was just like, you know, but if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I'd rather just hang out here in the room while you're gambling. Read a book, do something productive. So we ended up going to Gordon Ramsay Burger, and we kind of went into it like, if they go gambling, like, maybe we should miss out. But we decided to, at lunch, we decided to go with them. There was a classmate of theirs that we were meeting up with that was going to take us to Fremont. So we decided, okay, let's just go to Fremont. And I'm glad we did. So we went to the Golden Nugget. And we played on, like, the little simulated blackjack machines. And I was doing so good, y'all. $5 took me a long way for entertainment. And then after that, we were kind of just like, okay, this is not really what we were wanting to do. And by the time we finished playing, they had just got their game cards. And so we were just like, they're going to be here for a while. So we decided to just go walk around Fremont and see what we could see. So we ended up going to this little souvenir shop. We bought a couple of things. Like, we got my niece this little Las Vegas cup, and she loves it. And then I also got, what did we get from there? We got a whole bunch of snacks. I do remember that because my boyfriend was just like, is this really what we came here for? And I'm just like, no, not really, but. Oh, and I got this Las Vegas bag. This bag is too cute. And I think I got a keychain with like A. And then we went back to the hotel, and we pretty much just like packed up our things. So I packed up my things. We rested, we relaxed, chilled around the hotel. Woke up the next day, and it was time to go home. So thank you for joining me with my story time, y'all. Only complaint I had about the trip was this guy just dropping us off at a completely different hotel, miles away from our hotel. Like, that was absolutely ridiculous. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the story time. If you did, go ahead and make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you had different experiences or even similar experiences for your Las Vegas vacation, feel free to leave that as a comment down below. I would like to go back, but again, I try to learn from each trip and figure out what I can do differently the next time so that I can plan an even better trip the following time. So if y'all have any suggestions, recommendations for me, do let me know down in the comments below. And with that being said, I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.